Hey, YouTubers. Hey, welcome back to the Smitty Sebastian Kirk show. Well, I've been messing this up. But anyway, welcome back to the Smitty Sebastian Kirk show. I am Smitty Sebastian Kirk.
And I'm Misha C.
And nothing kicking in yet, but still mess it up. But anyway, so
We're back for another show. Now, first, what we want to say though is we want you to
like, thumbs up, no thumbs down,
Right.
subscribe so we have more subscribers,
Yes.
and also hit the notification button so when the new videos are posted, go ding, then you can catch the new ones. And I want to thank for the new viewers that came about who are now viewing our show.
Yes.
We're trying to get up to 1 million. We're just like 10 off. It's like, no.
in his dreams. But that's, yes, we are. That is.
Did you see us on the Macy float? You know, that's my dream. I want to be on the Macy float.
Yes.
But Misha said we have to be famous.
I think we do. We'd have to have a lot more fame to be on in the Macy's Day Parade.
If they could put the Real Housewives or somebody or some reality show stars, don't they have that on there?
Maybe. Well, most of them are people that.
They had that guy from
artists.
The Voice. Oh no.
Well, he sings. Most of them that are on there either are in either singing, dancing, acting, something. But you never know. You know what? That's a dream. We will get out of here.
And
So our show today. What are you pulling up? Okay. Our show today
You're in my
is. I know we're kind of a little bit winging it, but not. So it's
that's what makes it funny.
how are we as children? Are we basically the same as now adults? So what we're going to talk about is our personality traits that we had as a child. So there was actually a study done. I think this was around
Keep going.
2010.
One moment.
It was childhood personality traits predict adult behavior. So they did a study of, I'm not sure how many people, but they wanted to see how they were as children to now how they are as adults. So this may have been done over a series of years. So we're going to just talk about how we believe that we were then and now.
Right.
So,
For our personal experience or through
well, I mean, we
research.
Can even talk, what the hell we researching? But we can even talk about us since we've known each other since 9th grade, and that was over 30 years ago.
There you go.
But we look so beautiful. No, we can definitely talk about that. But we're going to actually go back to how we think we were as children. So for you, I'll let you talk first.
I was the same way I am now, just me. It's like no. As a kid, I was more shy than I am now. I'm very more outspoken than I was as a kid. I guess because of my upbringing. Mm-hmm. My father was the type of person that you just didn't have a voice when it came to stuff because you was a child. So basically, whatever I say goes and type, and there's no discussion or negotiating anything when it came to anything. So you just had to go with the flow. So, but once I got older, I realized that shouldn't even went about because kids have voices and thoughts too. But so that kind of stifled me growing up, and then even just not spreading my wings and just being the full person who I am now, just loud, wild, ready for the crowd, stuff like that, but no, just having fun and just being outgoing where I wasn't.
I think, well, one question I have, because you are someone who is the life of the party. He makes everyone laugh. He does have a very good sense of humor. So were you like that as a child?
I was always funny. I was kind of class clowns a little bit in school, in elementary, and I got in trouble a lot. And they called the house and stuff like, he's not paying attention. He's just roughing the class because he talked too much. Citizenship.
Well, talkative. That's the other thing I was going to mention. We know he can talk.
I'm about to put some duct tape right over this. Right, but anyway, yeah.
Okay.
I was that, but as far as just like people noticing me, I guess I didn't because back then growing up, being in the 70s, being a little kid, dark skin just wasn't it. So, and I'm dark, as you can see. So I got kind of like teased for that. So they kind of kept me in a box. because light skinned brothers would get all the attention and everything, and now it flipped, and then never went back to light skin.
What is it?
Yeah, but I'm not saying anything about anybody light skin and stuff. Nothing like that. I'm just talking about my experience. So that's what kept me from expanding my wings and just being the full person who I am now. I didn't realize it until a person mentioned something to me in the 10th grade.
I was going to say high school. I think you changed a lot.
10th grade. Yeah. She came up to me. She was like, "Oh, why are you act like that? Like, far as like, not down, but just not out there and just not." And she said, "Just be yourself and just be unbothered by other people and just think you're the stuff and blah blah blah." So I did that, but then it got a little bit too big headed, and 11th grade was off the chain. Then 12th grade, oh my God, you couldn't say anything.
Oh boy, yeah.
I had an image in consultants and everything with my nephew. He was very good in fashion, so and I just showed the school how you should look.
Yeah.
But so that's who I am now.
And I can understand it. As a child, I was always very shy. I'm an only child, so I didn't have people like in my household where I had other children. So I was by myself a lot.
I didn't either.
Well, that's true.
Because my siblings is older, but
you were able to go to your niece and nephews who were around your age, right?
Right.
And I didn't have that. I had some cousins that I would visit, but I didn't have that like on a regular basis like you.
Okay.
But I understand in your house you did. It was just you.
And the parents. Yeah.
So a lot of that was me having to do things on by myself. So I'd be in my room playing, looking in the mirror because I wanted to be a model
Fashion,
in pageants and different things. So I would
really.
Yep.
Who in pageants back then?
I wanted to when I was younger. I did.
Who told you should be in a pageant back then?
I just liked pageants, and I wanted
now
to.
It makes so much sense. Here she comes, Miss Decker. Miss Decker.
Yes.
So
I'd be in the mirror by myself, but I was always very shy. But and the other thing with me, I've grown a lot out of that. I'm still a bit shy when I meet people at first. But the other thing,
bitch?
I said a bit. Oh, a bit shy. Now I'm not a bitch. Well, some people might say that. You shut the hell up. The other thing
we'll see the bitch.
for me is that I as far as sharing, and we're going to talk about that too.
Oh, here we go.
I always wanted to share my things. So even with friends, I would have people come over. I used to have sleepovers and things like that. So my things at that time were theirs. I didn't try to, dictate how they could play with it. Not say they didn't break it, of course, but I was very sharing, which actually that is me now. Like I've taught my children, like I did not like when they didn't share. Even though everybody got their own toys, if one of the children wanted to play with it, you were not going to tell them no. No, they were rough with it, yes. But I like that I just had that, kind spirit, sharing. I was quiet and kept to myself. But then, and even in high school, that I was still shy and quiet. I wasn't loud like some of the girls, being wild and doing all kind of crazy stuff. If I did, it was always kept undercover.
Sneak freak. That's what that was.
People didn't know. No.
Sneaky freaky.
And now I do like the fact, of course, once you get older, you realize that, you come into really who you are. But my personality is being that sweet, kind person. I'm still the same. What do you say? I'm still
actually, you're still, as far as that part, you're still the same. Just the adult you, it's just more outgoing, more fun, more talkative, more blending with people. When before you were kind of standoffish,
right? And that's so true.
And people took it the wrong way. They thought that you were being shitty or thought you were better than that. I'm better than, but the only thing is that you were just studying who you were around, and you just kept quiet.
And I think, for me, I do study people a lot, just because I don't know you, and I am one. And it's kind of bad. I don't know where this came from. I'm kind of leery of people at first. Like, I need to know what type of person you are. I think it's because when I was younger, I was, I don't know if it was bullied. It really wasn't bullied, but it was people, because they didn't know me, I don't think they gave me a chance. So I think that people would have their own cliques of friends, because I moved around a lot. And so they would have their own cliques of friends. Even when I moved to Clairton in high school, in the 9th grade, before I went to Alder Days, everybody knew each other in that small town, and I didn't know them, and I tried to make friends, and it wasn't as easy because they had something against me. I have no idea why. I didn't do anything to anyone. So because of things that happen like that, I make sure that I need to know you and your personality before I can friend you, be a friend to you. So I am still that way now. I don't just normally talk to strangers so easily. I have to be around you and like maybe in a group and
right.
Because
I mean, I guess I do at times.
It's easier for other people to talk to people.
Well,
like I have strangers talk to me, and I'm like, you don't even know me, and you're like talking.
Well, see,
like
it's all a bullshitting game because I guess being like back at with customer service and stuff and being on the phones,
right.
you should definitely, you know what I'm saying. But we've done it, and
right.
You have to BS and and the same thing in reality, when you're out at the grocery store and stuff. Some people in line, they just want to talk, just conversation, which is fine, and I just learned how to BS. Then plus me doing karaoke so much,
right.
That's another thing that I have to be outgoing with.
That part is easier when it's just a complete total stranger. The part that's hard for me is like when it's in a group setting where I know some of the people and I don't know some of them. I normally can't just start a conversation with somebody unless I sit there and and it's crazy for me. Like I need to watch and see.
Well, I do the same thing. I fill people out.
That's it.
Because you don't see me just coming like, "How you doing?" And blah, blah. No,
yeah.
I have to fill you out because I don't know what vibe you're giving. Because I already know what I want to give. Right. So I don't know what you're going to do. So I have to see at first how this is going to go. But usually, depending on where I'm going, like if we're going to a friend's house, usually our friends are all kind of the same.
Right.
I mean, there's some stragglers are there that but overall, everybody's usually the same. So you kind of can blend.
Yes.
But it's just when you're going to a complete stranger place and you don't know what you're going to get.
But I just wish that I was given more of a chance with others. When I was younger. Now I could care less. Like you could like me, you could not.
I'm like that too.
But in high school or when you're in grade school, you want to make friends and you want people to like you at that time because you're a kid and it's not good to be the outsider. And not that I didn't have friends or I wasn't mistreated to my face. I mean, people probably they didn't come to me as others that were to me more outgoing or the louder ones or the more the wilder ones. Those are the ones that people normally gravitated to. I kept to myself. I didn't start trouble. I was quiet, and I wasn't the one that everybody was just like, oh, let's go hang with Misha unless they really knew me.
Right.
And I don't think I was given a chance. To hell with them. No, I'm joking.
No, you meant every minute, every word of it.
No, it's okay. I truly, at this point in my life, I'm 51. So, and I can tell my age. I have no problem with it. I don't care. So who are my friends or my friends now?
Right.
And I really am very happy to have those people in my life.
Well, I will say this. I mean, like the whole show's about from basically how were you as a child up to your adult. There's people who are complete opposite. Some people still the same. Some people was assholes back then and still assholes.
Right.
Some people was bitches back then still bitches. You would think life would change them to be the better.
Yeah.
For me, I think life changed for me because my niece and nephew said I was a lot meaner when I was younger. They used to say it all the time, especially my nephew. He always said that I was meaner. I don't know where the hell you get that from, but I don't think I was mean. I think I was just maybe outspoken at time because I don't know. I guess I kept my game face on. I guess like you call it because I didn't want nobody saying nothing negative or coming at me incorrectly about something, whatever you may feel, because I didn't fit into the mold of everybody. Like I wasn't a jock, and stuff like that. I was just my own person. Then people felt like, well, you had to be this way, that way. Sorry, I didn't grow up like that. My household was totally different.
Right.
I'm not hood. I don't claim to ever be hood. I don't want to be known as being hood.
Right.
So just like you're not hood. You're not this and that. So there was a lot of girls who was like wild and proud about it. You was just like, you had more class.
And those are as they didn't gravitate towards me, I didn't necessarily gravitate towards them either because my mother was very strict, so I didn't want a lot of times when you're associated, what is it, birds of a feather flock together. I didn't want to have that kind of
association.
I knew that my mom pretty much watched everything I did, and I couldn't have that, that type of those type of people
in
really
your life,
in my
right.
life, because I didn't want her to think that I was like that, because then she wouldn't let me do certain things. But I was thinking about you, how you said when you grew up, people said things about you, like about your skin color, and probably said other things. And kids can be very mean. And I'm sure that put you had to put like a tough skin on.
Oh, it did.
So sometimes even when people weren't being that way, you're still going to
I just automatically on my defense, like ready to attack.
Exactly.
And it wasn't like that at all, because again, I was never a jock. I didn't claim to be.
Yeah.
I love being mean to this very day. Still like being mean. I like being the total opposite from what you're thinking, or a total opposite from the norm of somebody. I'm just who I am, and I don't care what you think. You can think whatever you want, because regardless of what I do, you're going to have your own opinion.
Exactly.
So it doesn't matter. So think it.
So that's the thing with people, and I think this was a really good show. Just to even say this, our personalities are pretty much going to be the same as what we were as children, except you grow up, you mature.
Grow up and you know better on a lot of stuff. You know a lot better. You should.
Well, yeah, we talked about that. You really should know better.
Well, I have a cousin. Again, here we go. When she was younger, she's nothing as an adult. It was a complete opposite. She was very nice, sweet, calm, strict, domineering mom, stuff like that. But when she started getting older and adult, she became more pushy, more meaner, more extra when it came to stuff. And that's what she manifested herself into today. Like, I know, because it's my cousin, I know exactly who she really is. But to the world, she come across as this like mean ass bitch. You know what I'm saying? So, she wasn't, like I said, as young when we were kids and stuff, she was nothing like that. And I understand, because a lot of times, again, going back to the parents, when the parents stifle the child and don't allow them to start forming their own personality and come to stuff, and they shut them down, you have a tendency to overdo it when you get adult. Like, ain't nobody gonna shut me down. Nobody's gonna do this. I want to make sure this and that. You're not gonna overtake me. You're not gonna be the boss of me.
Yeah,
that's when all that comes overboard, because the parents is doing too much to that child instead of letting that child start to form to be the person who they're going to be.
Well, the other thing we were talking about too is that there are people who had parents who didn't really teach them certain skills, life skills.
Right.
So they didn't really learn those. But then when they become parents, they don't know those skills initially.
They don't know how to pass it on.
But my thing is, what I said to you is that you learn as you go, or at least we should. Like, for me, I became a parent at 19, so I didn't necessarily, I always felt I was very mature for my age.
But you was also married.
I was married, and I felt mature. But there are certain things that I had to learn kind of on my own. But also, for me, there are things that I didn't want to repeat from my childhood, put that on my children. Because our parents, as we know, they learned from someone else, which is their parents, and they may not have always had the skills. We have to think about our generations in the past. A lot of these people may not have had the skills. They only knew what they knew, pretty much. And they taught it to their kids, and then they teach it to their children. So for me, some things of how my mother was a great mother. She really was. She always made sure I had everything that I needed, and things that I wanted, I got. But sometimes she was very very strict, and her way of saying things to me at certain times was
maybe too harsh.
It was very harsh, and I'm sensitive, and I was going to go into that too. I was very sensitive as a child. I'm still sensitive now. Not that some of that stuff that she, was being strict about, she shouldn't have, but the way in which she said it, but she came from a very hard background for herself, so she only knew what she knew.
Exactly.
So I told myself that I don't want to continue that cycle. I'm going to talk to my children different, and so that they do, as you say, have a voice. Even though, my decision or our decision as their parents are the final, but they should be able to express themselves in a certain way. And also, I'm not going to put them down and say certain things to them. And that just was, my motto is that I wanted to break the certain cycles, not everything.
Right.
And that's what these parents, especially young parents, even though you weren't taught and you realize, like, oh my goodness, I was never taught these certain things. Right from wrong. That, certain things that children shouldn't see, shouldn't hear, shouldn't have to endure, and you really should make a difference. So
you should. if you want to do better. I mean, but it's a cycle that has to be broken because I know people, relatives and stuff, that's from the mom down to the daughter, down to the daughter, down to the grandchild, the great grandchild and stuff. The cycle is still the same. It's still that everybody's having, like women, well, the ones I know, those type, one is jealous of the other one for whatever reason or having a problem. How you gonna be jealous of your daughter because she's younger or stuff like that, and this and that, or you're jealous of your daughter because your daughter's more outspoken, she's an extrovert and you're an introvert. How you gonna get upset about that? How you gonna get upset because you just felt there's too much attention going to your daughter or whatever, it is not coming to you and stuff. Those are parenting things that you need to get in check before you jump in that bed and start making babies. And to me,
that is probably another show, but that's something that we talk about on
all
regular,
the time. All the time.
You really should, and I understand people say accidents can happen. I think it's not necessarily an accident. I think you just don't think it's going to happen to you. And sometimes people just don't care, they just hope and pray that it doesn't happen. Right. But before you bring a child into this world, you really have to think about it. First of all, and this is kind of going into something else, who the heck are you having children by? Do you even know that person? Or did y'all just get together like 2-3 weeks ago, a month ago, 6 months ago? You really need to know that person. You need to know their background.
You really don't know nobody even the first 2 years, for real.
Things that are hereditary.
Yes.
Like, I have you have to think that things are passed down from one person to another. Diseases, illnesses, ailments.
Yes.
Mental illness can be hereditary.
Yes.
So please, it's something you really need to make sure that you are finding these things out. Are you two even really compatible, or y'all just good at having sex?
Right. That's the difference. Being compatible or having great sex.
Exactly.
Some people get that confused.
But you can have great sex. Just use protection.
Right.
I don't understand. I even see these TV shows where people are like, "Oh, it was a one night stand," and because I watch Paternity Court all the time. I don't know why I'm obsessed with that show. But they're just like, it's just a booty call. And they actually got pregnant by that person. I don't care about booty calls. That's not the point. I'm not judging people on booty calls. If that's what
you're just saying, protect yourself.
Protection. Why would you want to even possibly get pregnant by somebody
a stranger
that you don't even know?
Pretty much, a stranger.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's something totally different.
Yeah. We can go all night on this. Seriously. Not about that part. I'm just talking about just like
because we have conversations.
All the time about parenting. But being a kid, coming up to your being an adult, which you would not want for your child.
Exactly.
But the thing is, I have to defend a little bit because we're running out of time here. Is that when you know better, you do better. Yes. So a lot of times people don't know, they can't do better because. They think that, oh, well, I turned out good, so I'm telling you to sit the fuck down, because you know how some parents talk to their kids. And I think that's horrible. I saw this lady
yesterday at the mall. She was cussing at her child like
someone on the street,
and the kid was like 6 or 7. And that's one thing.
I have never been talked to like that by my parents. Never ever.
That is, and just I can imagine how that makes a kid feel. But you know what? What happens? They get that. They think that's normal. So of course then they're going to think it's okay to talk to their children like that.
And teachers.
And it's just so not right. And I'm just, for all I can say is anybody watching this, if you know anybody or if it's yourself, just try to do better. And I know you may not always know, but think about it. Think about what's right and wrong. Think about what makes you feel good or what made you feel bad as a child.
Right.
And do those things. And, or change how you are. So that's just, how I wanted to leave it.
Okay. Well, maybe we have to do a show too.
I think
because that's a really good one, right?
Yeah,
so we're gonna wrap this up. So, so think about it. Just when you know better, do better. And yes, like my father said, kids don't come with instructions. So you got to kind of wing it yourself. But you should want to do better.
Exactly.
So once again, my name is Smitty Sebastian Kirk, always in the works.
And I'm Misha C, all about me.
And for that we say, do your research when you have kids. Like no, it's just like no, not really. But just
take this and maybe it can help somebody. If it's not you, then pass it on.
It's not you. That's right. Pass it on to someone else.
Yes.
All right. Thank you.